Hello, it's Thursday, and I want to acknowledge a World Council of Churches initiative called Thursdays in Black. It's an initiative to raise awareness and to work towards a world where there's no rape and gender-based violence, to work towards peace. And on this Thursday, and I expect in subsequent Thursdays, we'll put out a video from Gloria Day to look at ways in which we can work towards peace in the world and intersectional issues. Today I want to talk about racism. I'm going to show a clip that's a bit of a throwback. So it'll be kind of a throwback Thursday as well to a conversation I had with Bishop Lee Lutgehelter. He was the bishop of the Manitoba Northwestern Ontario Synod from 1986 to 1994. And he speaks in this clip about his experience as a pastor in Philadelphia. And he talks about blockbusters. And he talks about situations not that long ago, maybe 50 or so years ago, where black families tried moving into neighborhoods that were predominantly white. And how that affected the neighborhoods, how people reacted, and even how our Lutheran people reacted. And it's probably not the best story of our past as Lutherans. But listen to that, and here's a story from Bishop Lee.
But to reform, to change, is a very, very difficult step. But we know that. We know that in the present, that reforming is important and agony. Mm-hmm. Right? When I first came to Philadelphia as a much younger pastor, I remember about 3 blocks from us, there was a lot of commotion on one street because a black family, Afro-American family, had moved into this street. And this whole area where I was on Toyoga Street in Philadelphia was all white, pure white. Mm-hmm. Right? And there was a very concerted effort to keep it all white. Because if they called them blockbusters, this is what happened. Just about 3 weeks after we came there was a family that moved in, and the blockbuster had support to do that. It was very difficult to do it, but there would be a group that would get together, and the houses were cheap. They bought them originally for $5,000 each. They were row houses. They were good houses, but row houses. And they had increased in value, maybe $15,000, $20,000. So this family would have to pay at least $40,000 for an ordinary $20,000 house to even get a bite, a chance to buy a house. This family had managed that. So they moved into this house. And as soon as they moved in, their house was pelted by the neighbors. The kids were molested, booed, and so on the street. And the whole community did everything they could to get rid of them so that they would leave. Because if they moved in, they were blockbusters, right? Mm-hmm. If they managed to stay there, then prices would drop. And as prices dropped, more black people would move in. So this was a huge fear of that they would move in. Because these people, these are our Lutheran people, and other English people too, all knew that if you had black people, Afro-American people living next to you, they contaminated, right? They brought all kinds of diseases. These are all myths, but right. This was their take on the subject. Yeah. I was just newly arrived, so I went to my council chair and said, "What can we do to help this family?" Oh, he said, "Pastor, we can't do that. These people have come to devalue our whole neighborhood," right? And so they were very determined, not that we would do something to welcome them, but that we would do everything we possibly could to unwelcome them. Yeah, a nasty thing.
It is. Yes.
Nasty thing.
Outright discrimination.
Sure.
Yeah. Even what you describe of them having to pay a different price for the same home.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I suppose that's things that continue today too. So
Well, that's just one little incident, though, that if you're trying to change, this would be a good direction to go, to expand and include more. And so in our own congregations, like, it would be a good thing to welcome a black family. The effect of it would be, the first effect would be that a large number or significant number would leave. They wouldn't stay in this now contaminated church, right?
Right.
So the work that had to be done, and the ULCA did that. They put Afro-Americans on staff as much as they could to introduce them to our congregations that were full of prejudice, just bristling with prejudice, right?
And the courage it would have taken, I think, for those first black people to be on staff and to, that'd be difficult.
Very difficult. Yeah.
Come, Holy Spirit, and show us what is true. In a world of great wealth, where many go hungry, and fortunes are won and lost by trading in money, come, Holy Spirit, and show us what is true. In a world of great knowledge, where many die in ignorance, and every piece of information has a price in the marketplace, come, Holy Spirit, and show us what is true. In a world of easy communication, where words leap between continents and we expect to see a picture to illustrate each item of the news, come, Holy Spirit, and show us what is true. In a church which speaks 1,000 accents, divided over doctrine, creed, and ministry, more anxious for itself than for the gospel, come, Holy Spirit, and show us what is true. In a church touched by the flame of Pentecost, moved to generous sacrifice and costly love, interpreting the will of God with new insight, come, Holy Spirit, and show us what is true.